Welcome to this video. We are today going to be going through the Arbitrum upgrade to layer 2 for an orchestrator on the Livepeer network. Now, this tutorial just came out yesterday, and so this is the first time running through this. This is the migration process from layer 1 to layer 2 as an orchestrator. So we're just going to be doing this on testnet and doing a run through to see how it goes. So there are some instructions here. This is on the Livepeer docs, and we'll be following them step by step. So the first thing we're going to need is a URL for the Arbitrum network, which we can just use off-chain labs, which we have right here. So we can go ahead and use that endpoint when we're ready. And let's just hop through the migration process. This is for orchestrators. The next video will be for delegators. So the first thing we're going to do is open up the Testnet Explorer, which I have open right here. And we can, it says, go ahead and start by connecting our wallet. So we can go here and connect our wallet. I'll just restart this here. And my orchestrator node is this test orc that I've already set up. As you can see, I already have the node running here, and it is live. So let's go ahead and connect our node. And you can see now it says that we want to connect to the Arbitrum Rinkeby network. So we can switch to the Rinkeby on Arbitrum over here. And as you can see now we have the account and we have our MetaMask with the correct account, which is going to be this this one here. Switch to this account. Yeah. Okay, this is it. Right, we got the Arbitrum Rinkeby account. Okay, so the next step is to navigate to the L2 migration tool, and that is going to be down here at the left. And oh, I guess we got to switch back to the Rinkeby network. Sure, yeah, we'll go back there. Okay, we have our, yes, that's right. So we have our ETH and our LPT bonded, and this is a live node. Okay, we can do that. Next we're going to do is use the connect wallet, and we can approve this migration. So as you can see, we have the orchestrator, we have 10 LPT self-stake, and we can go ahead and approve this migration. This migration will take about 10 minutes before it is considered final on the Arbitrum Rinkeby network. So we can click that. And it's going to bring up a transaction here where we can look at, now this is happening on the Rinkeby test network, so this is still main chain, if you will, layer 1. I'm assuming this is going to be quite an expensive fee on the main network, but we can go ahead and click confirm. And it's starting to migrate onto Arbitrum, right? So this would be mainnet moving into Arbitrum, and it will take roughly about 10 minutes, as stated in the description before. So I will pause this and come back. Just as this thing is loading, it now says en route to Arbitrum Rinkeby. So this would be, now we are just waiting for it to land onto the Arbitrum network. So again, I just wanted to bring this up. This is the next message you're going to get, which is going to be waiting that 10 minutes. So we'll come back. Okay, now we can see that the migration is complete. We can look for this on the Arbitrum Rinkeby account, and we can switch networks. I guess you have to switch networks every time you use this Explorer because we're on a new network. And you can see now that we are moved on over to the Arbitrum network. Now we can continue on to the rest of our setup. So we have moved our account over. Now the next step in this process is actually going to be moving our actual node over to the Arbitrum network. So, you know, you can view your profile and see how it's all going. You can view it on Arbiscan. But what we're going to do now is we're going to move our actual node that is running onto the new network. So the one thing you're going to do is you're going to change your network flag, and you're going to change your ETH URL flag. Now, so we can go ahead and close down our nodes, or our node, and open up the location where our testnet launch file is. So in here, we're going to first things first, we're going to use the Arbitrum Testnet URL for connecting to the chain. So I guess in this case, it's just going to be this this URL right here. And I don't believe we need to put in anything else. I think that's just their public endpoint. So we can go ahead and put that in here. Okay, so our ETH URL is now pointing to the Arbitrum network. Okay, the next thing we have to do is update our actual network name. Okay, and so this is going to be the Arbitrum 1 mainnet, but in this case, it's going to be Arbitrum 1 Ring-B. And we're going to go ahead and throw that in here. Arbitrum 1 Ring-B. And we can save that. So now we can run our node. It's going to go to the Ring-B Arbitrum network instead of just the Ring-B network on layer 1. And we have connected it to our endpoint. So we can go ahead and close that. Okay, so now we have to start our node after we've saved that. We can go ahead and run it. What it's going to do is it's actually creating a new folder. If we go into just real quick where our data is, so under users, this is for Windows, of course. Pick our user account under LP data. You'll see that it's actually created a new one called Arbitrum 1 Ring-B, but our key store isn't in there yet. It's actually in the Ring-B network. So what we can do is we can quickly, as we're launching this node, we can just go ahead and just enter nothing for a password, and again, nothing. And what it'll do is it'll just create an empty account that we're not going to be using, but it'll generate the file and the folders and everything else you need. So you can actually just exit out, because what it's done now is we have this new folder called Arbitrum 1 Ring-B, and just like the other ones, we have the key store in here. But this key store is for our account that we just created. We can go ahead and delete that. So if we go back, we're actually going to copy over this Ring-B key store into that one. So we can copy this and head back, head into Ring-B 1, and put this into our key store file there. So now, because it's the only key store in this folder, which is this key store folder under the Arbitrum 1 Ring-B folder. Now when we go to launch this, if we just head back to this launch file we have, now when we run it, because we've updated the key store, it's going to automatically pull the proper account that we had created on mainnet, or I guess testnet, and that's going to move it over into the Arbitrum. So we can put in our passphrase here, and this is going to now pull this and make sure it's active and running on the Arbitrum 1 Ring-B account. We can also then open up our client, because it'll be listening to it, and continue on with the instructions. So now we have updated our account, we've restarted our orchestrator with the new URL of the Arbitrum account, as well as updated the network. Okay, so now what you have to do is you have to register your service URIs and free structure for the Arbitrum network using the orchestrator config setting, right? So just like we do on the mainnet, the settings that we had for mainnet didn't get pulled over, right? So layer 1 information didn't get pulled over. So we can easily just open up our client and go ahead and number 13 to set orchestrator config. Now, just because this is testnet, there isn't, you can't call reward yet. So these fees and the fee cut and reward cut and all these things have to stay the same. Only the service URL can be changed right now. So our reward cut is 0, we'll just stay with that. Our fee cut is 100, we'll stay with that. Then of course we just, the pixels that make a unit 1, we'll just set it to 800. And then our service URI, we can put that, update that to the one we will be using. And when we run that, we should see, it does say error applying configuration, but in the past, it's just done that for me. I don't know why I get that error, but as you can see, it's storing the service URI and sending that as a transaction to the Arbitrum network. So once that is completed, you'll see that if we just update the account, oops, calling reward, that's not what I wanted to do. You can see here that we now have, oh man, I'm all over the road. We are registered, it's true, we got our service URI, we got everything set up, and we are now 100% moved over to the Arbitrum network. That concludes the end of this tutorial. When the mainnet launch comes out, I will be updating this video in case anyone needs to do this on the mainnet and having any troubles. Also, I will be doing a overview on how delegators can claim their rewards on Arbitrum when the time comes. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great day.